So I'm Michael Burke. I'm president of Quest 2 Consulting. Our business is to focus on capacity building for minority businesses and in marketplaces where governments, nonprofits are looking for increased market capacity of small, local, and minority companies. Typically, when you're doing infrastructure projects, companies are coming in from all over the place. They're coming into this marketplace. The revenue doesn't stay here. The workers aren't from here, and they leave, right? And the local folks don't get the business. And so to me, most projects in a community should be done by people in the community if you have capacity. So the question always is there enough capacity? Because what those companies from outside say is, well, y'all don't have enough capacity, you can't do the work. You'll have to use third parties, or the work it'll be substandard, or whatever it is that they'll use as their excuse for not including local and minority businesses. The benefit of having it stay in the county is obviously county firms hire people from the county. So we have a resident participation requirement as well. So if you hire local firms, they're going to hire local people. And I think those are the benefits of having a program like this. The money stays in the community. The other thing is we teach the folks how to get work outside of the community. So the goal is not to teach them how to just do our work, but to teach them how to do this kind of work, green infrastructure work, so they can pursue work in other markets. Montgomery County, DC, we have large authorities, water authorities, etc. Everybody's doing something to improve the quality of the environment, to improve the quality of water, to improve the Chesapeake Bay. And then obviously we are in a floodplain in Prince George's County, so when we get to water quantity, we could be working here for another who knows how long. When we first came, my goal was to figure out how to put all the things in place that I didn't see on the programs that I ran before, because I didn't have a client that was willing and flexible to do those kinds of things. So the first thing we looked at is what are the barriers to entry for small and minority business? What keeps them from getting work? And there are several things. A, they feel like they don't get opportunities. B, they don't have bonding capacity. C, finance, cash flow. So you have those three things. You have access and bias. Some people feel like they don't get access to the same programs or projects that others get access to. So there's a plethora of things that happen that prevent small and minority businesses from participating in large opportunities. One of the beauties of green infrastructure is that I can have a $100,000 project, or I can have a $5 million project. Well, $100,000 projects are accessible to small and minority businesses because of size and scope. And we've done a lot of things that we built into the Mentor-protégé Program based on those barriers. So CIS has a quick pay program, put an escrow fund in place so that the firms get paid within 30 days. CIS bonds the jobs at the GC level. And that first $1 million bonding covers the small businesses for up to $1 million. If you're a small business and you don't have bonding capacity, but you work on our project, let's say you work on 3 projects that are $250,000. You just got past performance for 3 projects at $250,000. So now when you go for your bonding, you have past performance on the Clean Water Partnership project. So your likelihood of getting a bond is higher if the other things are in place in your business. So the other thing the Mentor-protégé Program looked at is not just construction and estimating and teaching green infrastructure, but what's the status and the health of the businesses that are coming through the program, so we could help them be better companies, whether that's marketing, whether that's back office accounting, websites, you name it. So we look at their entire business, because not only do we want them to be good at putting our work in the ground, we want them to be healthy companies so they can get other work. So we do the whole plethora of the things that most small businesses need. So we do a business development plan for each firm that comes into the Protégé Program, where we actually interview the owner, talk to the owner about where they're going, their vision, their business, what their business needs. We ask them questions like, do you have an accountant or a CPA firm? Do you have bonding? Do you have a line of credit? Why or why not? And they tell us their story. The other thing we want to know is, who is the owner? Understanding who owns these companies and where they come from helps you have a better sense for what the business can do and what the passion of the owner and the ownership company is.
One of the most powerful aspects I've discovered from talking to some of these folks is that it's not just working with you all. Now they have a network together where they're relying on each other and finding business opportunities together. Could you talk about seeing that happen and why that's so powerful?
Yeah, I mean, that's powerful because the whole point is if you're in a meeting and you're in a meeting for a year and you meet once a month, those are your peers. And there are times when you're all doing something different and now you know each other. You know what each other is capable of. You've been sitting in meetings for the last year. We encourage them to work together. We encourage them to bid on opportunities together. We encourage them to team. We built an industry here. One of the things that Roland Jones said when he was on the government side was he wanted to build a green infrastructure industry in Prince George's County. We've had 7 cohorts, 60 firms come through the Mentor-protégé Program. 25 of those firms have done $43 million in contracts at the Clean Water Partnership. We haven't counted how much work they've done as a result of the Clean Water Partnership in other marketplaces, but we know they have. We've had firms who've changed their business model having come through the Mentor-protégé Program. We had a landscaper company who we introduced them to a project with Skanska. They won the project, and now they changed their channels of work for landscaping. So now they do landscape on large construction projects, where before they were dealing with predominantly HOAs. They started getting rid of some of the HOAs that are trouble and focusing on construction work, and they've probably done millions of dollars in construction over the last 5 years. The maintenance program here at the Clean Water Partnership is all small business, all. Everybody that's doing maintenance, and we have over 300 maintenance projects. And so it's a whole small business program specialized in maintenance of BMPs. And the beautiful thing about that is, if you're a small company and you get a maintenance contract, let's say you have 50 projects to maintain over the year and it's $150,000, that is an annuity for you. You're going to get paid monthly, right? So you know you have a cash flow of at least $12,000 a month coming in for maintenance, which gives you the ability to now look at your work differently, look at who you hire. You can cover a couple of employees with that. I mean, so it's a big, maintenance is a really interesting opportunity. And if we teach you how to maintain work, guess who has BMPs? The county, the cities, the counties next door, DC Water, everybody's bidding out maintenance. Now our firms have come through the program, they can bid maintenance. And for some firms that are landscapers, we tell them go after maintenance first. Because maintenance is something we can train you, and it's like low level of entry, or early, it's like low hanging fruit. So if you can do maintenance, now you're around BMPs. Now you might say, you know what, maybe I'm gonna bid the planting on this next project, right? Because I've been maintaining it. And it's not just mowing and cutting, mowing and mulching, right? Which is what most landscapers know how to do. We teach them water, how water flows. We teach them sediment, how to manage sediment. We make sure they go get their erosion and sediment control certification from the state. Just that alone, right? Every DOT project has erosion and sediment control. So if we make sure our firms have that, now they can bid DOT work or Maryland Department of Transportation work in the erosion and sediment control area. We're just trying to incrementally get them better. And if we can incrementally get them better, then they can grow their companies and look at new lines of business. The other thing that I didn't say is that we force our GCs to break our projects into components so that we can maximize participation of small business. So on a bioretention project that's $1.5 million, I might have a erosion and sediment control package that's $150,000. I might have a clearing and grubbing, when I say I, we might have a clearing and grubbing package that's $60,000, right? We might have an excavation package that's big, $900,000. We might have a planting package at the end of the project that's, $40,000, $50,000. So if I have now 4 packages and we allow all of our folks to bid just what they can do, right? So on one bid, you might have 4 different contractors doing work, which allows us to increase capacity, maximize inclusion, and still get the work done. Most of those firms aren't really thinking about the environment when they're just putting in concrete or doing curb and gutter, right? You don't really think about it. But when you're doing green infrastructure, you think about the environment, the impact, and when you've been trained. Most of the time we ask our folks to go through the Chesapeake Bay Landscape Professional training. There was a time when we had budget and we actually took our protege group through the Chesapeake Bay Landscape Certification, so they understood all the things they need to understand about saving the environment and impacting the environment, and obviously keeping the Chesapeake Bay clean, right? So if you get that kind of training, for all of us who've come here, I mean, there's things we didn't know. I got native plants at my house now. You know what I mean? So we're all learning. It's been an education for, I think, everybody that's come to the Clean Water Partnership.